Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm called the Big Game Hunter because I coach people to play their professional and personal games big. Now, today I want to just talk with you about an interview preparation trick that works whether you're doing whether you're going to receive a behavioral interview or one of those standard ones with the obnoxious questions. So just to illustrate with behavioral interviews, in behavioral interviews, they're going to ask me questions that start off with things like, tell me about a time when you. So what they're trying to do, it's kind of like mutual funds. Hi, if I mispronounce it, Fetus99, welcome for joining. So, if you're asked one of these questions that starts off with, tell me about a time when you, they're looking for examples. Because like in a mutual fund, they're looking at past performance to try and predict future outcomes. Well, that's what they're doing with a behavioral interview. Even with the standard one, when they ask you the dumb questions, they're looking for much the same thing. They just don't say it, but they're really looking for the same type of answer. So here's the tip. It doesn't really matter whether whether you're a rookie trying to get your first job, an experienced person, by a feeble excuse, welcome, an experienced person who's trying to find another job, and a veteran individual in the C-suite. Doesn't really matter. Here's what you do in advance. You kind of look for three things that are key to the role. So let's say with the rookie, they talk about a hardworking individual who is reliable, who what they're really looking for is a self-starter. So for the self-starter stuff, think of it this way. They're looking for examples of instances, stories that you can tell about how you stepped into a role and without a lot of direction picked up the baton and just started running with it. You know what I mean? Come up with two examples of that you can use in the interview. For the experienced person, you may be staring at skills that they're looking for. They may be looking at leadership stuff. Again, two examples of things that you've done along these lines that you can use as an example on your interview. The experienced person, you have an idea already probably what you're walking into. But I'm still going to encourage you to ask what I call the single best question you should ask on any interview. And that question very simply is, as soon as the conversation is about to start, I want you to speak first and say something to the effect of, hey, thanks for making time for me today. I recall from the advertisement from the search firm, from my conversation with so-and-so, whatever the circumstance is, that, what the position was, but I'd like to hear it from you and get your take on it. Could you tell me about the role as you see it and what I can do to help? So now that they've defined it for you, you can speak about what you've done that matters to them. And knowing that you're a veteran individual, yes, I'm sure you're going to do a certain amount of preparation in advance based upon what you've been told, but you have the capacity to switch gears pretty quickly and adapt to what you hear on the spot. Because number one, I don't want you to just talk about what you've done. I want you to talk about what you've done that matters to them. Secondly, again, I want you to have stories in your mind of instances where you can demonstrate that which they're looking for. Now, experienced individuals, C-suite operators, are used to being adaptive. They're used to dancing on their feet. So recognize that you're going to have to think quickly for examples. Think of one right away. My experience tells me that most of you can come up with a second one pretty quickly in order to illustrate your experience that relates to them. So again, always have two stories in place to illustrate every point that matters to the employer that's evaluating you. That's how you really prepare and advantage yourself on a behavioral interview, or any interview for that matter. Let's just see. Anyone have any questions or comments for me? I'll give you a few seconds to key in. Anyone here have a question? No. Okay, so this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I do playing big early weekdays, somewhere between 7 and 7:30 most days here through Periscope. And you can visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot there that you can watch, listen to, or read to help you find work more quickly. If you have a question for me, at my website, click the tab that says Have Your Job Search Questions Answered. I'd be happy to schedule time with you. Hope you have a great day. Take care.